Testing, I think this is the yellow radio frequency. Possible audio item and wiggle meter.
You are working.
All right, that means everything hasn't melted. That's good.
The night is still young.
The sun is still out.
And it's still hot.
All right, give me a minute here. We'll get the show on the road.
Go or no go for liftoff.
And then the jingle singers said,
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
the Old Tube Radio Network. Where are we? Real Radio's glowing in the dark. It is a little bit warm here in the control room tonight, but that's okay. It's like 97 degrees. We got clouds moving in. I don't think there's going to be any thunder and lightning like they're going to get down in Southern California, so we should be able to traverse the airwaves tonight and do what we do best, and that's promote the use and distribute information about your Old Tube radios right here on the Class D 11-meter citizen band radio service. Thanks for joining us. The Old Tube Radio Network, not a club, just a voluntary association of people gathered around whatever device they might have to enjoy perhaps what your citizen band radio sounded like years ago and will sound like tonight for a couple of hours. We are here in the Central Valley of California. My name is Dennis, one of the many net controllers to sit in the air chair, and we are... if you're wanting to get into the live air feed, it's at 27085, channel 11 in the Central Valley of California. Also, there is a place on your Universal Media NetWeb at oldtuberadio.net where you'll be able to listen in and watch some video things, some video hijinks that often happen. So with that said, let me get to 00 checked in. Harvey is on the move. He's probably listening in clandestinely from the salt mine. So, Harvey, you are checked in as 00. But I'd like to see who we can get in that needs to go back into the very cold area. That's not the radio room. And back out to the patio or the swimming pool, wherever you might be. OTR listening for early check-ins. Over.
24 checking in.
All right, 24, I hear you, Joseph. We got you checked in. Thanks for stopping by.
52.
52. Good to see you last night. Sounding good on the AM mode tonight. Over.
Very good, and good evening from the 3-year-old. Yeah, you say 52? 52. There we go. 52 from the 3-year-old. And behind the golden microphone. Thanks, Dennis.
All right, is that 52.3 or 52.4?
0.3.
52.3. All right, we got 0.3 checked in. Sounding good, by the way. Thanks.
61.
61, way out there. I don't know where you Atwater, Chowchilla, Merced, up in Modesto. I don't know where you are tonight, but you sound good.
Thanks, Dennis.
All right, thanks for checking in. Also, some early check-ins from places where it's almost midnight, right? Felix, 91 checking in. 64, Craig, checking in as well, and some others as well. Foxman is on, listening for some Skip. Boy, there has been nothing today. I haven't been on the radio all week, but I'll tell you this afternoon, there wasn't much going on at all. El Toro, 6688, also checking in. Early check-in for 83. Out in the Sylvania, Ohio Wingdinger, we got you checked in if you need it. Who else needs to check in here live? Over.
Dennis, get 650, please.
650. We've got that on the X. Over.
Thank you, Dennis.
All right, and let's see. What is my meter showing? Somebody. I like everybody, the technical guys, and gals that kind of nerdy and look at the shows. Yeah, that's showing. You know, that's a good 0. Somebody said your meter's at 0, but that's a good 0. That's the SWR. So we've got, what are our selections? Power output. Hello Radio. There's power output. I think that's the only other thing I could do that makes any sense. ALC shouldn't show up on AM, so we'll put it on. Put it on power output here, so thanks for that. All right, one more call, and then we'll get to the roll call, and the radios are coming up. I hope you all had a good weekend. If depending on where you're at, you have even more heat than we have here in Central California. Listening for early check-in. Yeah, go ahead, break over. 195, no problem, sir. I will head down to page 4 and put the, or actually click. We'll put the X in the square. Click on that. Sounds good. Over. Okay, and we'll be doing the live-to-live, coast-to-coast check-in coming up from JT on Old Radio Night. He's got the Buddy bass fired up. I'll tell you, I was listening in. I was parking myself over there earlier, and that is one of his better sounding radios. I always thought the receiver on the Buddy bass was supposed to be not good, but boy, I sure like the sound getting out of that. We will hear more from that coming up in about 10 minutes. SWL number 1, of course, has the check-in. I've been looking to see if OBP is hanging around on the frequency here, but we will get number 2 checked in. The pocket protector is, this is... Considering how old it is, and considering how long I've had it in my pocket, and considering it's kind of smashed up, it is one good-looking pocket protector. The anonymous but great station that found this and sent it to me, this has got to be one of a kind. It actually has tubes on it. You aren't going to find anything like that. SWL number 3 from Clovis Amateur Radio Pioneers. I will get... Rob checked in. And over on Old Radio Night, he might be ping-ponging back and forth between the East and West Coast. Levon SWL 5 out in, where are you at, Hudson Valley? It's late where you are, or is it early? I don't know. We got you checked in. And a treat, SWL 7 is at the control board. Mr. Ed, one of our net controllers and long-time participants here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Good to have you along, Mr. Ed. And we have yet again procured the original RCA 77 DX microphonium, so hopefully I can keep the OTR mic flag on, and we will have a good net. The Echolink link is up. Oh yeah, we got a couple people on there. The crossband radio is up as well. You know what I'm going to have to do that I didn't do is I've got to find Mr. JT and the gang. So let me do that right now. And let me give you something to look at, because I was on the other, you know what it is? I thought I had him called up here, but I was on the other device. And that is why.
KV6GFD, this is KV6QLG calling.
All right, well, I'm fits in with the computer. We'll go over to the crossband radio and say, hello, radio from KV6GFD. What's up? Over.
Yeah, can I get an early check-in?
You can do that. The check-in light is already blinking, and we will get 135 on the list at the appropriate time. Over.
Thank you very much, Dennis. K86QLG cleared.
All right, thanks for joining the Old Tube Radio Network, 73, KV6 GFD. All right, I'm still trying to see if I can't summon up Mr. JT. He should be there. I don't know what happened to his video. No. All right, I'll be right back. Get the live feed. I always type in the wrong thing and it comes up with something that's sort of like what that is, but not like what that is. One of these things is not like the other. All right, here it is. Let me make sure I got an audio confirmation. Yeah, there it is. Okay, good. We'll be back. We'll be back shortly to Mr. JT. So all is well with that. Directed net roll call. Mr. Ed was checked in. Let's go over to Sangertown, SWL number 9, the infamous Dirt Dog 982.
Hello, Barrett. This is Dirt Dog 982 checking in.
982, you are sounding good. Good to have you back into the air chair tonight on the Bigly Grand Radio, beaconing nicely into OTR control. Thanks for checking in on the Old Tube Radio Network 73.
All right, thanks, Dennis. 73.
Mr. Dirt Dog sounding good out of Sangertown. No problem there. Making sure all the X's go where they go. 10 and 30. Anybody see the Jumping Dolphins yet? I was hoping we'd have some sporadic ducting or something tonight, but can't tell for sure. So we'll put a hold on that. 11 and 12, that is Dapper Dan, who's in front of the screen watching Batman, and I don't know how many episodes there were. That used to be a twice a week. It would be on like Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then they would have a cliffhanger on Tuesday, and then you'd watch the conclusion on Thursday. But I don't know if they ever had any clandestine CB or ham radios stuffed in there somewhere. Might know. But anyway, Dan and Dapper Dan, looking dapper, sounding dapper, and we've got you guys checked in. Fresh out of the pool. All right, that's where I think we should all be. And yes, I think there's a pool here. Let me go. Is this it? No, I want that one. There is a pool here. I don't know where the video of it is when we installed the pool and threw me into it, but that's out there somewhere. I don't want to relive that. SWL 13. Mikey sometimes checks in on the crossband. We will make sure that if he's there, we will get him because it is working. Back out to Sangertown for SWL 14.
Hey, good evening, Dennis, and all the other SWLs. 14 checking in.
All right, you are sounding good. I'm forgetting to put the X's where they're supposed to go, and I've got yours. A quick check of the wiggle meters shows everything good. And no red where they're not supposed to be red, so hopefully you're staying cool. I know, it's kind of impossible, but we'll if you're around a little bit later, we'll have plenty of room for Tube Radio check-ins.
I am planning on it. Hope everybody else out there is staying cool, too.
Indeed. Here's an early check-in, 128. Won't be in next Saturday. House full of guests. All right, for baby shower. Real nice. So I'll do 128 tonight, and then next week as well. So hope all goes well. Sounds exciting. sounds like there's going to be a lot of people running around. So find your safe spot. The Old Tube Radio Network, real radios glowing in the dark. We'll be coming up. Ontario CB Club, is that you, Nick? I think it is. Jumping in there. Who else is joining us now? Let's go to, and I think I saw Hans, SWL 15. Over on the big board, who's up? Los Angeles, California, right in front, along with Squamish, BC, and Madera. You got the special tickets tonight. Squamish, listen in. I don't know. I have not been on the air all week to see what kind of... I wasn't on last night, to see what's happening with the skip. We'll find out from Ron. Madera, hello to you. Centerville, Virginia. Williamson, West Virginia. Madera. Another Madera. Okay. Anoka, Minnesota. We got Angola, New York. Orange, New York. A lot of New York, a lot of stations are waiting for it to be Sunday, I think. Broughton, Illinois, Fresno, and a host of others yet to be here on the Old Tube Radio Network. SWL 16. That, of course, is Charlie and the crew that keeps things running here, despite my best efforts to make it not good. What are we watching? Batman, Star Trek Original. So that's my competition tonight. Checking in. Just got back from the Duluth, Minnesota. What's going on in Duluth? Oh, air show where the USAF Thunderbirds demonstrated some spectacular piloting. Yeah. I don't know how they do it, and you know they were good long before the automatic drones could get in and do similar things. So can't beat the Thunderbirds. And says DX77 is sounding great. Ba 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 boo. Thanks. It's still working. I haven't managed to break it yet. They're still letting me use it. Let's see. Next we've got SWL 17. The Carolina Kid, as it were. SWL 18, Mr. KDA Mikey. He's got a check-in from Facebook. And Radical Ham, don't be fooled by the man behind the microphone. When you have an RCA 77DX, it will make even the meekest, the meekest of vocal registers maybe even sound good. So thanks for, you know what, you've got to have the big speakers fired up of the headphoniums. That's what makes it sound good. SWL 19 with the cue cards and, oh, over there. All right, thank you. Said I've got you some water. It's the, I see the Costco card is still working. Or are these from old? I'm looking for an do they put an expiration date on the water? On the water stuff? I don't know if they do that. SWL 20 00. He is is he unknown? I don't know. He might be one of the Madera stations checking. I don't know where he's working tonight, but he said if he can, he will try to get back in. I'm using the J38 key, and it's slipping away on the table. They had some, boy, at the Fresno Amateur Radio Club is old tube night, or old radio night, I should say. And I brought the Comanche, the 1011D Siltronics, and sort of gave the ham guys a what for on how Swan got themselves in trouble back in 1969. So that went over quite well, but a good time was had. And they had root beer floats and chocolate chip cookies and all sorts of good stuff. Heading over to 21, if you're listening there, JT, I got to find your video. We're going to turn up the audio. Oh, there's the picture, too. That is the greatest shot. Here we go. Putting it up. This is what, if you're over at Old Radio Night tonight, is what you will see. You will see the Buddy Bass TX11B, RC11B, and the transmitter on the left, the receiver on the right, and the on-the-air light on top. So,
hello, Dennis.
There they are. Take it away.
SWL 21, South Kakalaki, world's longest ground rod.
Yes.
We're checking in.
All right, that's live. North Carolina sounding good. There's number 3, sounding good. I'm impressed with that receiver on the Buddy Bass. Sounding good for the check-ins. That's Old Radio Night, still going on now. You can check it out. Put OTR in the left ear and ORN in the right ear. I even got on the wheel.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Harvey. 21, we're standing by.
All right, thanks, guys. I haven't got on the spinning wheel tonight. I didn't make it to the end, but it was fun. You know what? JT is he's even better.
Levels.
JT is even better than Bob Barker when it comes to spinning the wheels and doing all that stuff. So Old Radio Night doing its thing. Back to the control room and trying not to break things. All right, let me drop, I got to check my modulation levels. Let me drop the mod level a bit. If I get over like 150%, the Harvey range boost doesn't seem to like that, so we'll back it down a little bit. I've got compressors, I've got limiters, I've got Vox duckers, I've got all the tricks of the trade, and still you got to behave when it comes to radio output. And thank you, 40, for the heads up on that. Back to Directed Net Roll Call. 21 is check-in. How about SWL 22? Who's in the Whiskey Mobile? I thought that was Van Man tonight, but maybe there's a lot of Whiskey Mobiles out there. Somebody said check in Tyler. I will do that. 23 Skidoo, SWL 23 was probably smart enough to stay on the coast where I bet it's 59 degrees. We will get Skidoo checked in as well. He will probably be in shortly. SWL 24, Joseph checked in. I don't know what that noise is. Somebody's trying to get through here. Let's go to SWL 25. Over.
Good evening, Dennis. 25 checking in.
SWL 25, I hear you, sir. It is a little bit warm, but no problem. There's a big pool of water outside the Radio Shack there, so if you're heading that way, good deal. I will get 25 and 74 checked in. Over.
Very good, Dennis. Thank you.
All right, thanks for, as they say, thanks for stopping by.
Hey, Blood Nose, everybody in there, we got.
Oh, okay. No, I still got DD, the 27 audio up. That's the squeak I was hearing. Let me turn that off. Okay. But if you want to hear it live, go over to Old Radio Night, SC 21 SC S.C. I think, over at YouTube. All right, everything is good. SWL 27.
27's checking in live from Studio G, where I have 95 degrees.
95, I think. Well, I have a little. We've got. How'd you guys do it? They got the air conditioning running here in the OTR control room tonight, so it's maybe 94. It's a veritable iceberg in here. Hey, good to see you. Last night, Dwayne was also at the Old Radio Night at Fresno Amateur Radio Club, and like I mentioned, I had brought a Comanche Siltronics 1011D, and he brought one of our favorite rigs on OTR, and it was the ICO 762K with the cute little dynamic crystal microphonium. But good job on that. Over.
Roger, Dennis. Yeah, thanks for helping me out with that one. I need a little help with the specifics on that radio. But, yeah, the 762 kilo. I'm going to try to get it hooked up. I don't know if I'll get it hooked up tonight or not, though.
All right, if it works, it works. If not, we will try it on future episodes of the Old Tube Radio Network. Top of page 2, if you're playing the home game. That's 27. Put a big X in the square. Thanks, Dwayne.
Roger. Thanks, Dennis.
We are doing direct net roll call. Let's go up to SWL 28, Gary. Where are you guys getting the breeze up there? Or you're farther north, so I don't know where these clouds are coming in. That's creating all the humidity. You guys might be safe up there in Sacramento. Costco Pizza Party in the green room. All right, so that's where the water came from. All right, I thought my wallet was a little bit skinnier without that card in there. Come and get it. Put the Costco card back in my coat pocket. Okay, no wonder I couldn't find it. Well, the pocket protector is good for something. Thanks, Gary. I hope you're having a great day up the road. Break OTR, over.
Yes. This is a community announcement. Everyone needs in the Fresno area or in the Central California area needs to go outside and look to the west and check out the beautiful sunset.
Well, I have the drapes closed, so let me go back and open. Maybe we'll see some orange and red glow coming from that. So you know why we have the sunset tonight is because normally in July all we have is heat, but we have the clouds coming in, swirling around from the probably Phoenix, whatever happens there. So you're saying it's creating some good stuff. All right, I'll open the stuff in the back. I'm not facing west, but you'll see the glow of what Larry is talking about. I'll be right back. This could backfire on me, but that wouldn't be the first time here on the All Tube Radio Network. All right, well, I'm back. You know what? It just looks like a dirty window. It looks like a dirty window. That's what I'm saying. The sun is still out here in Central California. I was hoping we would see a little bit of orange or red, but it is out there. And you know how sunsets are. There's that one little perfect time. It's sort of like OTR. There's that one time that you should be listening and watching because we will get you checked in. Back to directed net roll call. SWL29 has a proxy check-in. SWL30. We are waiting for 10 and 30. I was hoping that they might get in live and direct from northern Idaho. We'll find out. SWL 31. I saw Robert and Teresa checking in earlier. Where did my pen go? Did it fall off when I went racing over to the window? Get you guys checked in. Hopefully you're not having the wacky humidity heat wave stuff like this guy. SWL 32. Rob checking in, and I have not been. I saw your post. There you are, the backfire frequency. I saw your email of earlier, and at least you were on the air. You were checking in the little openings that happen on 10, 15, 20, wherever you're at for FT8 or whatever. But tonight I'm just not sure what's going to be happening. We will find out. Hopefully, your heat is actually more than we have, but you have the humidity. But we have it too because we've got clouds in the sunset. So, trying to be like the big state if we can. Thank you, Rob, for checking in, and we'll just keep our fingers crossed. We'll get some, just like last week. All of a sudden, Michigan comes in. For no particular reason. SWL 33, that's myself. Bozo Control. Anybody that wanders through the control room tonight. SWL 34, Jimmy and Captain Chaos and Railroader over in Batavia. Well, I grabbed a pen that doesn't work very well, so let's try another one. I've got a lot of pens that don't work very well. This one is huge. And it's from Nautel, which is a maker of, this must have been from NAB. Maker of high-power transmitters for your AM and FM pleasure. I don't know. I don't think Nautel ever made a citizen band radio. I wonder if you can take one of their FM radios and kind of screw it around and get it on 27085 in Cheyenne, where it was 85 degrees. I haven't seen Mr. Bill's post, but he always checks in with 35 checking in from cool Cheyenne. I know he is not going to say that this week. Foxman, the DX maps. All right, let me, I pulled them up earlier, and here they is. Let me go to, I believe this is going to put them up, and scroll that back over there. This is, are we looking at, no, that's 2830. It's got a lot of extra stuff on there. I think, yeah, I mean, it seems like you guys on the East Coast should have some DX coming up. Let me go to 24 if it changes. Okay, that's, see, nothing on 12. There's 10, so it's light, and it's nowhere we are, but it looks like if we had something, we'd be right there. Seattle, Squamish, you guys would be okay, and it is extending into Texas, but since we haven't heard a thing. What about Mini-Grass? Well, yeah, see, there's no dots on Hawaii, and that is exactly what's going on, nothing. And is that a check-in, or is someone just making sure the microphone's working?
Well, it's kind of a check-in.
Oh, you made it back. All right. Well, Headphone Harvey was sitting in the chair, Because we have to have at least one Harvey somewhere. So Headphone Harvey was there. I will say, Headphone Harvey, you can go back to your air chair because SWL20 is here, and we will get you checked in because we already went by it.
Okay, 29 and 54 also. And just in case 135 doesn't want to go outside.
No, he did. He did a crossband check-in, so we are, what's the word we use? It was copacetic on that one.
All righty. Okay, dinner time for me. And then I'll probably be back, check in one radio. Thank you, Dennis.
All right, thanks for stopping by, and glad you got in early.
Yeah, I was surprised. Good crew tonight, so we got done early. Okay, catch after a while.
Indeed. And hello to Radical Ham. Said he had the pleasure of speaking to me on 40 meters. That's sometimes where I can hang out. I'm not sure where you're at. He says, sound as good there as I do now. I do have a log. But this log book, I've got like multiple, just one people, I do a log book, multiple log books. This one starts, like April of this year, and there's probably another one sitting over there, and then there's probably another one somewhere that's from 1984. Those are the ones back when talking to Art Bell. Let's go to SWL 36. Where is Ken? He's probably said, you should have called me 10 minutes ago. Yeah, okay, there he is. He's tapping his foot. I said, come on. It's right there. I say 36. You are checking. I should say checked in. There it is. All right, good deal. That's how you know. That's how you know the old Tube Radio Network control guy is hitting the right buttons. SWL 37. Hello, Chris.
Hello, Dennis. SWL 37.
Sounding good. Hopefully your cooling devices are working over there.
Yes, it is. I'm just sitting here watching the cage fighting on Paramount.
Are those cages fighting again? Their little doors are flapping, and I don't know. I don't know how a cage fights.
No, it's these guys fighting the cage type thing. It's almost everything goes. I got McGregor in there. I hope he loses again.
Yeah, doggone him anyhow. Well, I won't make a prediction, but I'll let you get back to the cage. Thanks for stepping out of the cage and heading over to the Old Tube Radio Network for a check-in. Over.
Okay, Dad. You take care. Talk to you later. Bye.
The Old Tube Radio Network, Real Radio's Glowing in the Dark. We are in Central California on Channel 11, 27085. Do you know we have been doing this for 40 years? Yes, indeed. On Saturday evenings, a couple of hours where we see who's listening, say hello radio, and give a chance for those here in the area or far away if the skip is working. Now that it's legal. It's legal to talk more than 150 miles, according to the FCC, on your 11-meter Class D citizen radio service. Anyway, a chance for those with the old radios to jump in and say hi and recreate the sound and the demeanor of what it might have been had you been sitting in your very own air chair on a Saturday evening after Red Skelton went off the air and said, it's time. We don't have one of those fancy phones. It's time to go into the other side of the living room and that thing on the little doily, that radio. We're going to sit down and chat with some people and do whatever one did on their CB radio. So that's sort of what we're doing, kind of recreating that. And you will hear some of the radios coming up. Over to SWL 38. In Byron. SWL 39, SWL 40, who's out looking at the sunset. Did he get better? I mean, I still don't get the orange in the window.
Unfortunately, it quickly vanished. It's now pretty much gone. There's just a few red here and there, but it's... Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wow. Now it's red over on the east side of town. Whoa. Yeah, this is really interesting. Yeah, now you might see some red over in your area. Wow. But yeah, where the sun went down, it's no longer orange over there, but it's red over to my northeast. Yeah, that's interesting.
You know, the atmosphere does that. And it looks like I've got a sun. I think it's one of the lighting back on the other side of me here. It's right there. So that's not the sun. That's some light reflecting in. All right, well, keep an eye on it. Keep an eye for other UFOs and related items of interest. And we have you checked in. Over. The Old Tube Radio Network. And Radical Ham, 40 meters from Miami. Okay, I do remember that. I see occasionally on 40 meters, the band will open up. And you'll get that. It's short and it's long. And I remember you guys from Miami coming in. That hasn't happened in a while. At least I haven't been, let's put it this way, I haven't been in the right place at the right time. And I've got a very low antenna that works more for NVIS, straight up and straight down. So it's always nice when I get somebody like you that's that has a good radio and a good receiver. SWL 41. Looking for Road Dog. 007 Extreme CB. We got a lot of people stopping by. And somebody asked about an SWL number. I may have actually a few on our finite list here, but as you can see, no secret handshake. There's not a club, so there's no membership. And this goes way back to like 40 years ago. But you can get on list. Otherwise, you can just jump in. It's like the jump rope. Remember in the playground, the rope goes around and around and around. You kind of jump in, and then you jump out. Something like that. So you can always jump in and say hello, radio, and you are part of the net. You can watch the replay. It says, hey, there I am. Where are we going? SWL 41. 007 Extreme CB. Frank, what is going on? Where are you at tonight? Hopefully you're not on the West Coast because it's pretty nasty here. And I was looking for the unpaid advertisement here. This is underneath all the junk. That guy right there, extremecb.com. Probably got some videos, right? Probably got some videos to watch and a book. How many books have you written? Buy his book. There you go. They always come on the program and say, buy his book today. Let's go to SWL 42.
42 in the Radio Lifer crew, all present and accounted for.
Looking good and sounding good, and glad you got some type of rotating fan cooling device in the shack there to get you on the air. That's great. 007 is heading to Ham Fest early tomorrow morning in New Jersey. What do they have, every week? A Ham Fest or something going on in New Jersey? That's the place to be, I guess. Not Fresno. We had old radio night last night, the radio club. 42 is in. SWL 43. And I was not on the Ditchbanks net last night because I was at the meeting. SWL 44. I wonder if Ray was making it over the hill. Probably. I'll get to 360 checked in. Richard, RY. I had no idea what that was. And back in 1984 when I got my novice license, I had my Elmer he had I think a 6-meter teletype thing in his big shack. Was the RY. He told me about the RY. Chunking through an RY. SWL 45. That's Paul and Kelly. We'll get them checked in. Up in North Fork. Hope you guys are staying cool. I mean, it's a couple of thousand feet up, but that might only form into another 3 or 5 degrees less. We'll find out. SWL 46. Got to keep my eye on the right stuff here. Let me take a look. Squirrel Chronicles. Jumping in, and like I said, we did have some openings. All right, where's Squirrel? Squirrel. You ever hear the tune called the Squirrel Hunters? I think John Hartford does a real good. Look it up, Squirrel Hunters. So the Squirrel Chronicles. 60. What am I looking at? 62. SWL 62. I'm gonna put you in right now, and we are heading that way. So stand by. Write it on the post-it. stick it on the channel selector. Direct net roll call. I called 46. Oh, SWL 47.
Good evening, OTR from the Radio Lounge. This is SWL 47.
47 out in the Radio Lounge. I don't know if the barbecue is going. The pool is probably, if there was a cover on it, it's not on there now. So everything is ready to go. And thank you for jumping into the area that has the microphonium and the coiled cord and all that good stuff.
Oh, of course, it's my pleasure. And unfortunately, I do have to mention, well, not necessarily a silent key, but perhaps a silent microphone. Someone that did a jazz show at KBPR for a number of years, early 80s until the 90s, and then I think moved to a couple of other radio stations. I think you might have worked the board for her. And then she wound up doing the late morning jazz show at KFSR on Tuesday mornings. But there it is, to unfortunately a silent microphone.
All right, Mike, and thank you for mentioning that. I think it was probably 10 to noon or somewhere on the jazz program. I definitely knew jazz. And then as a purveyor of world peace and keeping things united on the fourth Wednesday on a program called Stir It Up, beaconing as she did for many of years, not even in being a co-chair as well for WILF. That's the Women's International League for Peace and Freedom. And not only did I run the board, but I think I helped set the keyboard up when the Raging Grannies, of which she was part. She was the keyboardist for the Raging Grannies. Would set that up and do that. And we actually have, in fact, I produced it, I kid you not, a little 30-second thank you that we are probably running on the station this weekend, and ended it with a little snippet from the Raging Grannies. So condolences your way, but again, what a legacy, not only with on the air with the jazz, but with WILF and keeping things green and keeping things safe and keeping things sane. And she always had some great guests lined up. So I don't know. I don't think there's going to be anybody that can step in and fill the microphonium void, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, thanks for stopping by, and thanks for the memory. Over.
Thank you, sir. 73.
I think we have a crossband check-in. Let's see if that's true. Hello, Mikey 13, KB6GFD, get you checked in. Over.
Thank you, Dennis. KB6YACB, standing by.
All right, there's SWL 13. Call 47, SWL 48. Sam in Madera, we'll get you check in. How about SWL 49? Matambale saying the Raging Grannies. You can actually Google that, and they are, I want to say it's not a franchise, but it's a group of usually, I might say elderly, but you don't have to be, you could be any age to get into the Raging Grannies, and they perform various musical pieces of socially justifiable content. And we have a group here in the Central Valley, of which the lady we were talking about was a very functional part of that. But check out the Raging Grannies, and yeah, punk rock. I'm going to say, if there was one way to explain them, punk rock might be the best way to do it. Let's go to SWL 50. see if Gerald is in there. I had to scroll down. There's a lot of activity on the board, and sometimes the stuff scrolls by. Did he say Google? I know. Can you imagine that? 40 years ago, you can Google that and said, I think the net controller's having an episode. He just said Google. 50 is in. SWL 51. Hello, Dave.
SWL 51 checking in.
Sounding good as usual, beaconing through the airwaves. I have thanks to Frodex, I have a new little 3D map. And you can set your antenna height and the type of antenna you have and all sorts of stuff with the terrain and look at where your signal goes depending on what you're doing. And I definitely need more altitude to help out with the Sanger-Reedley area. So at least I know what to do. It's sounding good, as always. So thanks for stopping by. Trying to make it through the direct-to-net roll call here. SWL 52 was in early. Is he still out there? All right, he's stopped. He's putting the 3 or... Oh, that's right. You 52.3 and 1 and 2. So Aaron was at the program last night, and man, that Mark II radio sounding good. SWL 53.
Good evening there, Dennis. SWL 53 checking in.
Sounded good, Bob. Thanks for being patient here, as we're taking a long time on the roll call, but you were right there. Or what do they say? Right here, right now, as Motormouth Mall would say, and we got the X in the square.
Thank you.
And what is Gerald doing? Air Chair just got home from the bad word. The salt mines. That's what people used to call it. I didn't even know. Back when I first got my first CB, and I was like 15, 16, everybody was talking about it. I'm at the salt mines today, and I thought, what the hell is the salt mines? But that's, if you watch the Munsters, see this, and that was about the same time that all these, that's where Herman Munster works. He works at a salt mine. So when you put two together, that's like coal mining. I mean, it's probably worse than coal mining. So it's like the worst place you can work at a salt mine. So that's where the correlation comes in. You go into the salt mines, that's like the worst place you can be, right? That 4-letter word. So glad you're back from the salt mines, and the battle is over, at least for a little bit, in Battle Creek. The old Tube Radio Network. I got to turn the page. And I'm only on page 4. They're giving me the speed up sign. Okay, we're going. We got a proxy check-in for 54. Let's go up the hill for SWL 55.
55, checking in.
55, sounding good in my neighborhood. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
And 56. Did 56 say he would be gone this week?
No, he didn't.
Okay, maybe that was Harvey. All right, because I didn't have a pre-X, and I thought, well, maybe I was supposed to do that. But there you are. Wherever you go, there you are. Over.
Well, I'll take the pre-X.
All right, the X is in, and it just registered over my head. So thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, Dennis.
And I'm not sure. I think Old Radio Night has a radio you might be interested in. I don't know if they're still on. We're going to check it in. It's a buddy TX11, the RC11B. Sounding good, too. He was talking to all sorts of people, and the receive is good. So thanks. And thanks for being there. So we got you checked in. Ruining my J38. SWL's 57. All right, who's trying to get it on the 2.4? I did a 10 gigahertz contact once. There was some contest, and we had the microwave dishes, and we drove up to the dam, and then the other station was over at the university on the roof. So I don't know what that was, like 12, 15 miles. And let me tell you, it is not easy, because you're listening, and you're trying to align your, we have the automatic stuff. For the TV station, we had the automatic rotators, and everything was fixed. You say, just point to the hill and we'll find her. But this is like, I don't know, I can't see the university, and you can see the dam. But we did that on 10 gigs, but 2.4. That was the old frequency for the live trucks on TV, and then Verizon, was it Verizon? Paid $2 billion, would it be $2 billion to buy part of that frequency so they could do their stuff. Yes, friends, everything's for sale when it comes to the FCC. Let's go over to SWL 58. Did 57 make it in? I'm looking for Brown Dog Audio. SWL 59. 59 was Uncle Hairball over on Old Radio 99. I should know. I was hanging out there tonight. I got everything done. Actually, what it was is I didn't get everything done, but I just couldn't bear to do any more. It was so hot. It was like I got an excuse to come into the radio room. Let's go to SWL 60.
Thank you, Dennis. Evening time to all. Hope this old watt and a half is making a trip to you. SWL 60, checking in old Jake's base, the DX2527.
Audio always sounding good. That's one of those radios you can't make it sound bad. No matter how much you put on a frowny face or do bad things. Even, I bet if you turn the microphone backwards, it would still sound good. So we got the 2527 checked in, and thanks for stopping by.
Well, that was true wattage I was telling you on the radio there. It is definitely a watt and a half. Jake had it turned all the way back. I can't remember exactly who the fellow was that did the work, but it'll come to me. He had it turned back all the way to a watt and a half, and maybe that's why it's lasted through the years. But that's the real deal on this one, Dennis. A watt and a half.
And you bring up a good point. The radios were 5-watt DC input. And when we look at some of the manufacturers, especially with Tram, they say 5-watt DC input, and we guarantee you're going to get 3.5 watts out of this thing with a little bit of forward movement. So that's on a big-time radio. So if you back it down, you got a little headroom in the audio. That's why the audio always sounds good. And get your antenna up in the air on a nice, quiet frequency like tonight. You are good to go on CB Radio. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Dennis. And that was Hobo Sam. They did the work on this.
Did a good job. Over.
Thank you.
Directed no roll call. Yes, we will have radios coming up. SWL 61. Dino checked in moments ago. And, Yellow Springs. Frank D. Frank D number 1. You're having pizza night. Come on over here to OTR. Gary said it's pizza night on the Costco card, so I hope they have some plain cheese pizzas. That's my favorite. But if you got good stuff there, okay. But if not, join us. 61 is in. Oh, SWL 62. Drum roll, please. From the Squirrel Chronicles. Where are you guys? Are you in? You up in New Jersey, New York? I can't remember where you said you was in the Squirrel Chronicles, but 62. Is got the X in the square, and I don't know what your delay is on the Universal Media Network, but there you go. 6-2. Blood Nose, hello to you. Jay Gubash 100, hello to you. Thanks for joining us here on the Old Tube Radio Network. A lot of people jumping in. Foxman, thanks for the reminder. Sometimes I forget. It's like, what am I doing here? I said, oh, yeah, that's right. I'm here to usher in the tube radios, and I can stop talking so much. Evil Knievel, no skip all day. Yeah, you got that right. Again, I don't know how it's been all week. It's just been catch as catch can. It's like 6 meters. It'll just open up, and you've got to be in the right spot at the right time listening in. SWL 63. SWL 64, Craig checked in earlier. SWL 65. SWL 66. SWL 67. Where is Bill? Hello to Oroville. Jumping in. Orange, New Jersey. Some new stations. I can't read that. Subiaco? Is that Arizona? No, Arkansas. Lawrence, Kansas, our technical administrator is in. We're talking about looking at our signals as we traverse the valley and realizing that we need to get the antenna up in the air if we want to make Sanger. And they knew a device that Frodex put in, and a host of others. Who else? Let's go to SWL. I'll get Bill checked in. Bill, if you're listening, I know you're out there. 67 from Canby, Oregon. SWL 68. Here's the guy that checked in, SWL 69. Kenny was in live on the pre-show, saying hello radio to all the stations around. So, Kenny, if you're watching the replay or still listening, there's your official X in the square. 26 TC 545. The question is, what frequency is this being broadcasted? Well, I don't know. Can we use that word? Well, what is our transmit frequency? The transmit frequency is 27085. That is channel 11 on the Class D Citizen Band radio service. So were you to have a piece of wire in the proper detector and be within the skip zone, you would hear us perhaps on channel 11. But that's what we do here every Saturday, the old Tube Radio Network. So thanks for asking. If not, join us on your Universal Media Net web at oldtuberadio.net, just like you're doing. Let's go to SWL 70.
Hello, Dennis. How you doing? Hello, all. Semi-low power this evening. 70 checking in, over.
No, I hear you good. You've got semi-low power, but semi-high, what is it, ASL, average above sea level or something, whatever they call it. So I got the X in the square. I finally made a club meeting for the first time in 18 months because our live concerts at the radio station on the second Friday of the month stopped. So it's like, hey, I can go to the radio club. And it's old radio night, and it was soda night or whatever you call it. It's a root beer float night, so it was good time. So missed you there, but I got you now.
Yeah, I wasn't able to make that one. I was doing some kind of sort of volunteer training stuff. Yeah, hope you had a root beer float on me, over.
Well, I'm not a big root beer guy, but they were nice enough. The ladies behind the counter took pity on the guy with the pocket protector and seersucker suit, and they gave me some ice cream in a dish. Twice they did that, so I came out okay.
Thank God for the lovely ladies. All right, man. Have a great evening.
All right, thanks for stopping by the Old Tube Radio Network. And low power is working fine. Let's go to SWL 71. Stands in Dallas, Georgia. SWL 72. SWL 73. 73. I'm checking Johnny. He was there last night. He brought in. Oh, it wasn't a mil-spec. It was a CX7. It was the radio from 1970. It was the first all solid state with built-in antenna tuners and all these IC chips. If anybody's familiar with was it Stoner that did the CB radio back then? It's a similar thing where they were just trying to make the most elaborate everything in a box. And this was an amateur radio, and like the Sonar. But, it's 1970, and ICs are expensive, and they fail, and you need a lot of them. And so the radio is beautiful on the outside, but it starts having problems on the inside. And that's what happened with the CX7 as well. And they were expensive. They were, I think, back $2,000 or $3,000 in 1970. But it was a classic radio. But, That's how these things start. Somebody says, well, I can build all that. Just start throwing parts in there. But the practicality of if it will work the next day is something different. So, John, we got you checked in. Also, we've got to check in for SWL 74. Let's go over to SWL 76. Over to SWL 77.
Good evening, Dennis, and all the listeners. I hope everybody's having a great weekend, staying cool, and looking forward to the radio check-in tonight. 77, checking in.
Indeed, as am I. So if I can get through the roll call, we will actually get there. Thanks. SWL 78. Are you making it through the thunderstorms down there? Maybe he's watching the sunset. But I know Richard out in Wild Wildemar was in there, so 78 gets a check-in. Let's go to SWL 79.
Checking in.
There you are. I was going to say, I don't think I heard you prior to net time. Normally I do, and I thought, well, maybe he is, vamoosed to cooler temps, but here you are. I know, all these people. We're in Pismo this weekend. We're heading out of town. Now, here we are. We're both here, but we can handle it. Thanks for checking in. SWL 80. Page 4, SWL 81, out of beautiful paradise, somewhere between Orland and Chico. Enjoying watching, there you go, and checking in on the old Tube Radio Network. Did I tell you, we used to drive up, back when I was doing the video production thing. This would be 1979, 1980. That is a long time ago. We would drive from here to Fresno in a video production van that was, state of the art for that time. Whatever we had doesn't even look as good as your telephone. And head over to Chico, and there was a consumer report guy. And we would tape all of these little 5-minute segments that would play on various TV stations throughout the U.S., the Western U.S., but I think they played on KHSL and some of the other ones. I don't know if back in 1980. They may have some more stations now. We used to drive to Chico. I always enjoyed that drive. And made it through the daylight test section on, Highway 71. But it was fun times. So thanks for joining us from beautiful paradise. Let's go to SWL 82.
Hey, good evening. 82 checking in from the ditch banks of Iowa, where I have the fan roaring in the background, trying to cool down.
I've got, where the fan is? You know where the technical crew puts the fan? You'd think it would be blowing on me and you'd see my hair wafting on the video. But no, it's behind the rack for all this audio gear that has to stay cool. Now, the tubes, some of the tubes, they don't care. But they generate heat into the transistor stuff. So here, the old Tube Radio Network, net control, the equipment stays cool. And the net control gets no air conditioning, well, maybe a little bit, and has to wear a suit and a tie and a pocket protector. Well, as you heard, I was at the Fresno Amateur Radio Club Old Radio Night Ice Cream Bash last night. First time that I was able to do that in a long, long time. So I missed the net. How did things go? Was it like this? Was it just dead silence on the skip?
I think we did get one or two skip check-ins, but it was pretty weak. It really didn't bother us, so it was really light. Probably not this quiet, but we'll take it, man. It was a good night. And, I would have loved to gone to that because the root beer floats and the big giant radios, I would have liked to seen them big radios. Wasn't it old Tube Radio Night there at the Fresno Club meeting?
That's what it was. I brought the Comanche 1011D and just told the sad story of the Swan putting in their ad in the 73 magazine and finding out how many sad hams there actually were.
Yep. Pretty cool radios. All right, Dennis.
All right, thanks for checking in. That's the voice of the, he does a couple other nets too, but the main one, the Ditch Banks sideband net on Friday evening, 8 to 10 Pacific Daylight Time. The frequency, channel 36 lower, I believe that's 27,365. Listen in. If you're from near or far out, there's a spot for visitors to check in and see if you can hear us all beaconing on sideband on the West Coast. So thanks, Ron. SWL 83, JC is out there, Sylvania, Ohio. Just saw his item go by. And Bobo 99 JNC SWL. Oh, that's 81. All right. I didn't get that call. Let's go to SWL 84, 86, 87, and 88, of course, respectively. That would be the Cheerios Kid, Mountain Maid, Snowy Owl, Tandy Girl, and the Snowy Owl, kind of semi in that order. Getting them all checked in. That takes us up to SWL, blah, 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 91. Felix was in early. I just realized, when Felix checks in at the beginning, it's 11 o'clock there. So a lot of people staying up or trying to stay up late to join the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks for that. You probably get pummeled over at Old Radio Night with all the stuff, the fun stuff that happens there. And then you come over to the Old Tube Radio Network, and then it's like, okay, we'll try and stay awake. So thanks for that. You always check in early. We can do that for you. SWL 92. Shortwave listener 93. SWL 95. Yeah, Foxman, you saw what happened last week. That was craziness. So we'll listen for the heterodynes as the radios are checking in before we sign off and see if we can't get some conditions like we had last week. Let's go to SWL 96. We're heading over to the Echo Link in just a minute, SWL 97. Too late for SWL 59. No, it is not. All I have to do is go up to my screen. It's right here in front of me. And then if I look over my head, if I look up, it's like, whoa, what is that? SWL 59 is right there. So I know. So I know your schedule. You have too much fun over at Old Radio Night. Because they have, we have pizza, but they have beer. I understand that. So we got you checked in. We're calling SWL 97. SWL 98. I was so busy, and this is my fault. I don't even think I checked Facebook. It was probably there to see if there was a check-in. Let me do one thing here. See, no update. Sometimes it will update something. Let me do this because the one the promo they did for Ron was hilarious this week. Checking a couple things here. All right. Well, my link is broken. It won't come up. It won't come up with. Oh, wait a minute. July. Here we go. All right. I'm going to do something I never do. Something in radio we never do is play something without listening, without checking it. Can get you in trouble, especially here on YouTube. So I'm just gonna blast it through. Should be that one. There it is. Let me center it, and here we go. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
Dennis flips a switch at 8, channel 11. Saturday, little red needle climbs on up. Coffee steaming in a mismatched cup. Old Tubes humming in that battered rig. 26.
Good evening, Dennis and the group. This is SWL 98 checking in. 7-3s, everyone.
All right, and that's from the Central Valley. That's from the Central Valley Sea Beers. Thank you, Tracy and Jeff, and all the people involved in the. Where are we going? Right here. All the people involved in the wackiness for that. So check that. That's pretty good. The jetpack I like. The other stuff I'm not too sure of. SWL 99. I don't know if Randy's out there or not. I didn't get on the radio all week. And we will head over to the Echo Link. So I can do that by going over here and clicking some stuff. Hang on. All right, to the Echo Link. Finally, let's check in with Tony, KD4BAO from KB6GFD. Over. We're checking in with Tony, SWL 100, purveyor of tubes on the air.
Hey, Dennis. Good evening. Please check in SWL 100. Good to hear you as always. Back to net control, KD4BAO.
Okay, Tony, you are sounding good as always. Tubes on the air rules on a Saturday evening here. The Old Tube Radio Network, thanks for that, and thanks for checking in, 73. And then we will go over to Albert is on. He's up in the hills, Sparks, Reno area. See what's happening there. KI6CBA, take a transmission from KB6GFD over. See if he's got some audio going on, and if they're getting the heat wave like we are here.
And the shortwave listeners, good to be here with you. Hotter than heck up here in the Reno Sparks area.
Tell me about it.
Lots of things to do in downtown. As always, there's some concerts going on right now. And I'm just doing it here, listening to you guys and looking forward to the radios. So it should be good tonight. And we're going to see how far these guys can come in. Okay, I'm just going to check out with that. 73.
All right, 73. We will see. It's been totally quiet. Totally quiet. I haven't checked the numbers. It just showed everything was poor for the items here, even though there was something on the DX map. So thanks for that. Hope it gets cool. Yeah, it's the same thing here. We're not sending anything your way that you'll like. 73. Thanks, Albert. KB6GFD. Or whatever. That takes us, ladies and gentlemen, to the patient guy, SWL 102. Looking good over on Old Radio Night tonight. Hello, John. Light rain and 75. Tomorrow will be 99 and 100% humidity. Ugh, that is craziness. That is total craziness. We were complaining tomorrow's going to be like 95 or something, and the humidity might be 30% or 40%, and that is disaster for these West Coast guys. But 100%, I feel for you. Thanks, John, for standing by. SWL 103, Joey out in South Carolina. And I just checked. No questions tonight. Tony he's smart. He drove over to the coast. He spent, an hour, 90 minutes, 2 hours, and headed west, young man, to where it's probably 60 degrees right now. So Tony has no questions for us, so that's okay. SWL, 103. Let's call SWL 109. I'll get a check-in for Crawdad. Yeah, it's tomorrow. It's tomorrow in a lot of places, and we're still not checking in the tube radios yet. So Crawdad is in SWL 110. And Stefan says, keep up the good work from the UK. 82 degrees in settled North Yorkshire. What time is it there? Is it 4? So is the sun just coming up? Have I got it right? Or, the sun is about to come up. Anyway, thanks for joining us. The Old Tube Radio here network here on the west coast of California, where you can see it is nighttime. SWL 111. I'll get Robert checked in earlier. SWL 113. Hans saying tomorrow is no better than today. It sounds so prophetic, poetic. I don't know. Who said that? Tomorrow is no better than today. So either don't expect anything, or expect to just do what you're going to do. Don't worry about it. Well, I'll wait. No, it's tomorrow is no better than today. So do it now. SWL 114.
114, checking in.
Sounding good, sir. I've got the X in the square, and I hope your tomorrow is better than today. But don't count on it. That's what they said. But anyway, thanks for checking in.
Thank you for
checking me in there, Dennis. You dropped down a lot on your signal.
All right, I've got our technical crew on that. They are now holding the wires together. Is that good? You're getting a little tingle? All right, if you get the tingle, that's good. That should be better, over.
Yes, you're back working. Thank you for the check-in. Hope you're staying cool.
I'm doing okay. We're putting all the cooling onto the radio gear so that the thing that just happened won't happen anymore. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you, Dennis.
SWL 128, John checked in early. He's going to get a check-in for next week as well, and I will remember that and put the X in right now. Over to SWL 131. And, yeah, Kakalaki did check in a while ago. Let me get into 131, SWL 135. Mr. Green Arrow checked in on the crossband. SWL 145, Tony gets a proxy because he's at the coast, and 147, who was on earlier, and I saw that, and then it scrolled away. But he's back there now, saying hello, radio. Thanks, Neil. It turned into a typical Fresno summer, and then we're getting the that moisture that comes in from Phoenix, making it even worse. So. Hopefully you're doing good where you're at. Thanks for checking in. And some of the former Fresno stations that might or may or may not remember the old Tube Radio Network from long ago. And it's always kind of nice when somebody stops by and says, "Oh yeah, the Fresno guys," or "I remember Fresno," and they're not ashamed to admit it. That's the number one thing. So thanks, Alex. In 9 land, I don't know. Maybe we can chat sometime on the frequencies when they're running. Crown Point, Indiana. Yeah, we should be able to work 40 meters at night, 20 during the day, 15 something. So look for me on a frequency near you. Thanks for stopping by tonight in the old Tube Radio Network. That takes us to SWL 188. Is Bobby out in the Bodacious Mobile somewhere? SWL 195, Jim is in Corso and checked in a little earlier. Sheltering in place. Remember that word? 223. Robert is doing that and working on the dehumidifier. They actually make a dehumidifier for an evaporative cooler. It goes in front of it, and it's supposed to actually make it work better. I don't have one, but I would like to get one and see if it... Because the evaporative coolers don't do very well when the humidity is high, but maybe this little device will work on that. Robert, we got you checked in SWL 226. Mr. Shockwave. And let's see, can I click that? My board isn't working here. No, it won't let me do that. It's hidden. Oh, there it is. It was hidden behind all stuff. Anybody that I missed? Oh, wow. But you're going way back, Alex. The Basque restaurant right downtown by the train station. Yes, I've been there. It was long ago. I guess they're still there. There is a Basque restaurant up on Aroa and Shields. That's the one that was run by Angelo Stalis' brother, I think. But the one downtown was the one they bring you. It's Basque-style dinner, and you sit at the table, and they bring you something, and then they bring you something. I'm a guy that give me a dinner roll and a glass of milk with one of those little butter pats, and I'm pretty good. But then they bring you something else, and they bring you something else. That was a fun place to go. So thanks for that memory. All right, I'm going to step out of the air chair. I'll be right back. I got to get some more water, and then we will be talking. Were you to have one? We'll be talking with our tube radio operator. So don't go away, or if you have to go away, this is being archived somewhere, so you'll be able to come back and see what kind of radios we got. And there's Craig. Are you back? Jet lagged from San Diego. All right, here's the news. The item of interest is actually, I've had to reset it a couple times. You know what I'm talking about. Is actually back in the shack here. It showed up a week ago. No, 2 weeks ago, I think. 2 weeks ago. Just out of the blue. 10 weeks later, says, and it was a cold solder joint, just like we thought, or some type of wackiness in the 15-volt power supply chain. So I don't believe the power supply was changed, but the cold solder, whatever was causing it to be intermittent, that was the thing, it was intermittent, and so far, so good. Welcome back. We'll look for you on the regular frequencies. I've got the RCA microphonium, and we'll be back in a moment. The Old Tube Radio Network Jingle Singers will do the jingly thing, such that it is, and then I'll be back shortly.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Greetings to you, wherever you are. Your favorite spot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
British Columbia, stand by.
979, Central California.
working. Maybe.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you on
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
The Old Tube Radio Network. Real Radio's Glowing in the Dark. Sorry about for the long pause. It's just very warm in here. I had to get freshened up a bit, as they say. All right, I'm looking at my audio output, video output. That looks good. And who had to leave us? Good night to you, Scarecrow, maybe Mark, somebody. Anyway, those who need to leave and do your thing. Okay. Rosie AU, thanks for joining us. Boy, there is no skip tonight. So I doubt you're going to catch any of us on the radio. I got the Tube Radio list up and running. I don't know. It's just so hot. I don't know if anybody's in the radio room tonight. So maybe get rid of the late check-ins. And you guys... See, the crew tonight is kind of casual. I'm sitting here in the studio. Thank you. Oh, they got something for me here. You guys stopped by the room, and this is what? It's good, whatever it is. Was it pomegranate? No. Yes. I was going to say, anyway, it's good. Thanks. Yeah, I was going to get casual tonight, but they posted a sign on the door. It said, no shirt, no shoes, no net. So I had to get dressed. All right, the Old Tube Radio Network is standing by and listening for any and all radio check-ins, of course.
56 TRC 217 underneath the carport. Nice cross breeze, intermediate, Fresno, California. Sounding good.
All right, Phil, don't go away. You will be next. TRC, is that 217 or 216? Over.
It's 217.
Yeah, 217, I think, is the 5-watt 40 channel under the carport. Back in the day, you know, we take the ladder and we get up on the carport, or we'd go up to the carport and then we'd set the bottom of the transmitter, the bottom of the walkie-talkie, actually on the carport, because it had a metal roof to make a ground plane, and that actually gives you a little bit more. But wherever you're at, it always sounds good. Thanks for joining us, and I was tolerating Fresno in summer. Sometimes you get used to it, so thanks.
Thanks, Dennis. Over.
Over. I like that over. Stretch on YouTube. If I tune in channel 11 on a regular AM CB radio from Washington State, might I be able to hear this? The answer is, it's possible, but not tonight. Our ground wave would go maybe 20 or 30 miles, and we are, 1,500 miles from where you are at. But given the conditions, if there's some bouncing of the signals up in the ionosphere, your area is one of the possibilities where the signal might bounce in a couple of times. So it's always worth having it turned on and tuned in to see if that might happen. And you'll know, because we'll start talking to some stations up that way. So keep it handy. Speaking about keeping it handy, shortwave listener 56, and as I mentioned, you don't have to be on any prior list or have any numbers or whatever to make a check-in with the radio. Just have to have the radio fired up and say, break OTR like this guy did. Hello, Phil.
Well, good evening, Dennis. I'd like to check in my Buddy TX11B transmitter and the Buddy RC11B receiver from Ertronics.
All right, I'm going to find the Buddy. And you're in good company because JT tonight had the TX11B, RC11B, and I was really impressed on the how well the audio sounded coming out of that. Like I said, I don't think I've ever sat in front of one before. And I was really impressed on how his audio was. I'm going to pull up the picture here live. And this is a collection of Paul. It's got the dial lights, but it shows the main thing, which is this is a 3-piece radio, transmitter, receiver, and separate speaker on the air. And at first, I thought it was going to be one of the tramps because I can actually hear what sounds like the relay snapping in over.
Well, I can't. You had mentioned that before. I can't hear any of that on my end.
And it's in the microphone, but it has a snap. Boy, the audio is crystal clear, nice and loud. I'll go to the quad split here so we can see the meter reading, see where you're at on that. But doing a good job. What is the microphonium you're running with the Buddy Bass tonight?
This is an unamplified D104. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. So anybody listening, if you have the proper radio, you do not need the amplified microphonium to make it sound loud. So, of course, we're talking plate modulation on the Buddy. Nice, crystal clear. I talk to Phil on FM occasionally, crystal clear FM, and his quality here on the AM sounding FM-like, just not tailoring the voice at all. Take another transmission. Let me get my little dial set up here. Yeah, we're good. And we'll see how the crystals are working out in the Buddy Bass tonight.
Well, very good. Speaking of crystals, the receiver can be variable tuned, or you can choose between one of, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 received crystals over.
I did not know that. I'm going to go to the extreme close-up here, and we go to the receiver. Aha, I see what you're talking about. Looking at the receiver, if you got the video on, there is I'll call it a slide rule dial that is reminiscent of like a standard AM radio, where you're moving the little needle across from a left to right. But if you go down to the corner under the meter, I see, and I don't know if it's like 1, 2, 3 or ABC, and that appears to be your switchable crystals over?
Yes. I'm assuming that when it came from the factory, those were just blank white dots, as mine looks like somebody has penciled in the crystals, and this one has received crystal 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 23 over.
Good channels. 11, 12, 13, especially 11, it was a call channel. And early on, there was, I'll call it intra-station and interstation, because typically with Class D, you were either going to be, you license the radio, you license the station, and then you have a unit. So it's KEO 8492 base to Unit 1, and you're talking to kind of people in your same family or the same radio group. I guess it could be a business. And Channel 11 was a call channel for that. Then I think 11 or 12 and 13 were designated as well for intra-station activity. So you would go KEO 8492 to KGB 7766, and you'd be talking to another station of a different license. So that was the intra-station area. So a lot of the radios, early radios would have 11. They might have 12 and 13, or one of those intra-station channels, and then it could be anywhere else. So interesting on that. Is the S meter? Did I ask you this? Is the S meter illuminated on your radio?
Yeah, yes, it is, both on the transmitter and the receiver.
Nice. Let me go back to the full page screen. And so, yeah, it takes a little driving for this radio. You got to get them hooked up correctly, make sure your transmitter is where you want it, then dial in the receiver. Do you spot that, or is it just, well, let me dial in towards 11, and when I hear somebody, I'll know I'm there? But do you have a way to spot it?
Yes, on the transmitter, right below the tuning selector, channel selector, there's a slide switch up and down called Calibrate. And that is, in essence, the spot switch.
Got it. All right. Well, I mean, this sounds great. Compared to Browning, I might give Browning, another 1 or 2 points for the look, with their knobs and everything. But I think they did a good job of taking the speaker out of the receiver cabinet, making things probably a little bit smaller, giving you maybe a little more room for convection cooling, but giving you a nice big speaker in that on-the-air lights. That's classic stuff. The Buddy Base. I believe you said it was Autronics. Marina Communications made them as well, but I think both places were on the west coast of California. And I was looking to see if I have any more information on the tube complements or where you might find information in the Sam's photo fax. And I'm not coming up with too much. I'm going to do one more. Here's a different look. This is the one that Harvey has. I'm going to see if I can swap that picture over or not. Okay, there it is. That didn't even have the right speaker. That's different. Okay, that's actually the 6-channel version. So I will leave that alone. Anyway, back to you. As I said, it's the night for buddies. Old radio night was, JT was using his. And I couldn't hear the transmit side, but I could hear the receive side. It was nice. Back to you, sir. Thanks for bringing it by. The Buddy TX11B, RC11B. Back to you.
Thank you, Dennis. And specifically, this radio was manufactured in Pasadena, California. Thanks, Dennis, and back to OTR.
14.
All right, 14, sounding good. Don't go away. Pasadena. I wonder if the little old lady had that in the super stock Dodge as he was cruising up and down Colorado Boulevard. I'm going to bring the other picture up. There it is without the lights, the Buddy Base. I don't know how many of these they made, but you didn't hear many on the air. When you did, they always sounded as good as what we just heard, and or I would say better. I don't know how that could sound any better. A lot of people modified the transmitter to, and I'm assuming these were type accepted. They might not have been, but there was a lot of mods for that transmitter to put a 6L6 tube and really do some audio fisticuffs. The Old Tube Radio Network, real radios glowing in the dark, doing what we do best, and that's talking to the tube radios. Buddy Base, and something coming from Sangertown. Hello, Sean, over.
Hey, hello, Dennis. Man, what a pleasure to hear Bill on that Buddy. Knowing that he's transmitting on a copper pipe, it's unbelievable how loud he is out here. I'm getting him at S3, and you're coming in at S5 tonight. And I tried to holler at you in the beginning, but I obviously couldn't get through against the Buddy. I am on my general radio telephone, the Super MC12 24-channel version.
Wow. All right. We've got two radios that were rare. You just heard the Buddy Base, RC11B. And thank you, Foxman. Phil, if you're still listening, the frequency check on that was 270847, so it's about 300 low. This is very well within tolerance. Go over to the Rolodex and get out another radio. Now, this one we know wasn't type accepted. That was part of the issue, that you don't hear or see a lot of these. Of course, if you listen to the Old Tube Radio Network, there's a few. There's more than you would think. The Super General Radio Telephone Super MC12. I know I've got a picture from Paul's collection. Very similar. Here we go. Very similar to the MC11. Looks like the rack handles were a little different, but they did some modifications or changes inside, and it got them in trouble with the FCC trying to get type accepted. But take another transmission, because like we just heard in the Buddy Base, another great sounding full output tube radio. Over.
Yeah, so this general radio telephone, it has extra thick rack handles. I think they're just a hair bigger than the DAC. That's very similar. The other thing is, mine has been modified. I've got a fan on top of it that's the same vintage of the radio, which I think looks really cool. Obviously, there's really no need for it. But there is a giant tube there. Now, I didn't go get my fluke meter, but I did stick my finger in there. It's been running for a good hour, and it gets hot. That spot on the case where the tube is at. Other than that, it's stock radio, no added channels or anything like that. But I do have it on that tone switch where it'll jump to high power, but I lose a lot of my modulation. But in testing it earlier, I saw it 15 watt average power there on high, and right now I'm doing 5 swinging to 7 or 8.
It's nice, and I can tell you're not driving it super hard. Sounds like it's loafing along. No problem there. And just a note to the station on the 223. Don't go away. We'll see if we can pick you up after this check-in here, because it's nice and quiet. So we'll try and get you before the skip comes in. If it is Super MC12, very much like the Super MC11A. General Radio Telephone was sold to Skyhawk Antenna Company in 1972. They upgraded the MC12 with a much larger, a much larger and powerful final audio tube. That's the big tube you see in there. The MC12 was not able to be type accepted by the FCC, and that was the last General Radio Telephone that they manufactured. I was seeing if it showed what that was. The other tubes were the ECL 800, which I thought was in here, but maybe like they were doing with the Buddy bases, they tried to get a 6LF6 or something in there, and then you get in trouble with the 5-watt DC input and 4-watt output. So I'm sure that was the issue, taming this thing to make the FCC happy, which they never did. Over.
Yeah, that's definitely, I've got the 11, and it doesn't have anywhere near a tube that size, and it's a great big baldy that barely fits under the case. Right now I'm on an amplified D104 microphone. I haven't had this radio out in a bit. I would like to switch to my stock MC11 microphone after this transmission.
Okay, so go ahead and switch the item. I had the Orban meter up, but I didn't see the LKFS. Sometimes that'll let you know if you got a dB more, or we can hear it too. So switch over to the other microphone. There's not a problem with the one you got. Stefan, wanting to know what frequency we were on. We are on 27085. That's a Class D 11-meter service, and it's channel 11. So 27085 if you got a shortwave receiver. And go ahead, Sean.
Okay, that was a little confusing here in the dark, but got it in there, and this is an unamplified Super MC11 microphone, stock microphone, and I just wanted to, see what the difference is in it with the amplified microphone.
Wow, it doesn't sound like there's much difference. Take another transmission. I got the full screen on the Orban meter here, and that it's got the loudness thing, so I can kind of see where you're at. But take another transmission on this microphone.
Okay, elephants go biking down Fowler, and I've been doing a lot of BMXing here lately with the kid. He's gotten into BMX, and we've been down at Woodward Park, so that's why I've been absent here in the later hours. But tonight I am present.
Nice, yeah. Woodward Park is nice. It's been a long time since they've been there. I used to do their little, I don't know, it was a workout thing. You go to the little areas and stations. I can't remember what they called it, but that was a long time ago when I could do that kind of stuff. All right, if you wouldn't mind, and it's not too hard, go ahead and switch back to your original microphonium, which I think was the amplified, which I'm not hearing a lot of difference. I just want to see if it's giving you a little bit more output, which means that it's possible you could, if you wanted to, tweak the audio gain on the amplified mic a bit more. But there ain't nothing wrong with it, so back to you.
Okay, now we're back on the amplified D104 desk mic, and maybe you'll see a little bit of a difference. The only thing I don't like about these D104s is the high pitch. There's not a lot of bass to it, so that was what I was looking for. Maybe a little bit more difference in tone, but how is this?
All right, well, the meter doesn't lie. For those, if you're watching the video, I'm looking at the numbers called LKFS up in the corner, and that's sort of like level around full scale being 0 dB. And you notice when Sean was on the unamplified microphone, it was sitting at about -20. And then when he switched over to the amplified microphone, it went to -18 or 19, 18. So it gets another dB or dB and a half. So that's actually not bad. It's not obnoxious. It comes up a little bit. I understand what you're saying, and I hear it too on the D104, trying to get some low frequency. But it's not whatever crystal is in that one is good. Sometimes you get a bad element or a suspect element, and you'll have a whole different sound. So I think you're good with what you've got with the amplified mic. Over.
Okay, well, good deal. That's what I wanted to see. Like I said, this one's been back there in the shelf for a while. So glad to get it out tonight. Everything working properly, and appreciate the time tonight for the General Radio Telephone Super MC12.
Nice stuff. Let me get the picture back. Super MC12, probably 1971 or 72. Obviously, still 23 channel and General Radio Telephone. Kind of saying, well, we can't compete with this stuff. Here's our best shot, and then they can't even get it type accepted. They kind of knew what people wanted. They had an idea. If we can get something super cool and big and loud, which they did, maybe somebody will buy it. But what was knocking on the door, unfortunately, was a lot of solid-state radios from Pierce Simpson and Midland and Pace, and that's sort of what people were picking up because they could pick them up. These radios were 20 pounds. The other ones weren't so heavy. So thanks for the General Radio Telephone Super MC12. Want to say hello to 511 and Twain Hart. Was it 3 weeks ago when you were barreling in here at S9? We must have had some ducting going in across the valley, so stand by if you hear us do that. Speaking of standing by, there is who is the station on the 223? We're going to be listening now, so if you're going to break in with the radio, hold on. We're going to see if we can't hear the Johnson 223. OTR is listening.
All right, I'm waving to you. You guys have a good evening. If you got a copy, bye.
Oh, see, hang on a second. There's 709, so the band is opening up. We're starting to get Skip from Washington. So whoever the station was wondering if we could hear it in Washington State. That's the station we just heard is from Washington State. The E.F. Johnson 223, take a transmission.
Twain Hart, California. Dennis. Hey, Dennis, 511 Twain Hart.
All right, 511 Twain Hart. I hear you. Over. I wonder if 511 and Twain Hart is grabbing the old Tube Radio Network here.
I receive, but I definitely have you in. I am transmitting down that way.
Yeah, we can hear you fine. Nice signal from Twain Hart. Over.
Yeah, 10-4. I'm using you on your YouTube channel as my receiver there, 10-4.
Got it. So there's a bit of a delay, but as you can hear on the replay, which you're probably hearing right now, you've got a pretty decent signal coming in here. Again, I think we're having a little bit of tropospheric ducting in the valley because Twain Hart is well beyond the ground path. Over.
You guys have a real good evening out there, Dennis. I'm going to get out of your way. I appreciate you coming back. Bye.
And if you're watching the video, I had my RF gain set to S3. There's the noise level. It's pretty much at 0. And that was great audio from Twain Hart, and he wasn't even making S3 on the meter. So got some conditions tonight. All right, we'll do take 3, as we say in the biz, for the Messenger 223 station. OTR is listening. See, it's hard to tell. I've got Skip coming in, and that might have been the E.F. Johnson. So it's hard to tell. Over.
All right, I got the old radio network going. I'm going to get out of the way. I heard your radio. Bye.
And 709. Hey, 709, sounding good into the old Tube Radio Network. Whiskey Radio 531. Listening in. I don't know who's coming through. Any other stations wanting to try on the DX mode here? Okay, there's the 223. Hang on, Joe. The 223, take a transmission. I heard you that time. Over.
Yeah, roger that, Dennis.
Yeah, tonight. It's a little bit of, fading into the noise and coming back out, but doing a good job. Over. All right. Always good to get another radio. And what is your location again? If I can't hear you, type in your location on the chat so I can add it in here. The band opening up a little bit and letting some ground waves, some ducting coming through, and you hear 709 coming from Washington State. Some of the other stations coming through. So we may have conditions like we had last night. By the time we sign off, it'll be time to do some DX. And Joe, thanks for standing by. What's hooked up to your microphonium? Over.
Well, Dennis, evening time to you and the fellows out there, like I said once before. I'd like to accommodate my friend there with a 223, my own personal 223, the Johnson.
Well, good. That gives me a chance to actually go put a picture of it up here, which I didn't do for the other station. One of my favorite rigs back in the day. The prices were expensive if you were a high school kid, making $4 a night at the bowling alley. But these radios, when you look here at 2026, really pretty, very simple. I mean, we just had the Buddy bass. It's the 3 pieces and spotting switches and all that. And then you've got E.F. Johnson that pretty much took their radio that they made in 1959, the Viking, Messenger 1, and sort of kept improving it until 1969 when it was right here at the base station. All 23 channels, S-meter, on, off, squelch, and you are good to go. Over to you.
Well, thank you much, and I loved Phil's setup, 56. I really adored that setup. You wanted to let Phil know that I was really, really taking a hard look at that radio. It was nice. Dennis, we have 10 tubes. A well-lit radio. Simplicity is written all over it. Just for me. You got your volume, you got your squelch. Of course, a few things are backwards on it, but, you want to go, if you're going to turn on the squelch, you got to go the opposite way. It would be on the open position, or no, the closed position to open. Anyway, she's there somewhere. We are on the original stock mic, Dennis. This is the E.F. Hutton Johnson microphone, stock, and we got 10 channels here, and like I said once before, it's a well-lit radio.
It is. Channel selector was backlit, the meter was lit, speakers in the front, nice big knobs, you can't go wrong, plug-in microphone, so dial in what you want, and the audio is always good. E.F. Johnson 223. These were produced from 1969 to 1972. 72 was that year when the solid-state radios were coming out, and a lot of manufacturers just realized that people didn't seem to be really into the tube radio. So this one made it through. And at this time, Johnson was also producing solid-state radios, the 323, the 123, that would complement this to be the mobile, the mobile in your license call sign. But you can't go wrong putting this on your shelf and putting the supplied Johnson microphone that it came with, or some type of amplified microphone. I'll bring the video up here that's got the microphone that came with the radio if you added extra $15. Back to you.
Yeah, I imagine it was around 15. This one cost me a little more than that. Doggone it, we did want the original microphone though, and even back then on those, you're talking about the solid states, the 223, 224A or something like that. I have one, identical. I mean identical. I even changed it over. I put the case from that solid state over to this one because it had a nicer looking case. But really nice radios, and that I think the 124A or something like that was a solid copper chassis.
Probably was. I don't know for sure. E.F. Johnson had been making radios for a while, as we've done before. They started the company, or Edgar F. and his XYL in the garage, or working broadcast receivers back and supplying parts for broadcasters back in the 1920s. And a lot of amateur radio equipment. They basically were building broadcast transmitters with the Viking Ranger and the Viking Valiant. And so this is just a little pint-size version of what they did with a receiver built in to go with it. You can't go wrong. Messenger 223, you got to love the way they take the script handwriting, like a fancy Beverly Hills address, and put the 223 up there.
Yeah, and there was a little cursive writing on it. Pretty nice. The guy, that must have been a happy couple, because they made a happy radio there, for sure. Okay, Dennis, I appreciate it. I think I've got another one warming up. As warm as it is in this room, I've got a couple of them. They're warming up, and they're intensifying the heat.
Well, you know, they don't mind. The tube radios like the heat. Us, so much. Not so much, especially if you're wearing a suit and tie tonight. Radio number 4, the E.F. Johnson Messenger 223. Thanks, Brian. Speaking of 223, Brian's kind of wafting in on the signals tonight, so the band is open, and Foxman's probably saying, well, doggone it. Show us the DX map and see what changed, and I think that would be a good idea. So let me see if I can find the right thing here. You see, it's weird that sometimes the DX map, doesn't always give us what's going on. Digital level, it's not showing a thing here. Do I have the right... okay, now here we go. So let's... go to that. Go to that. That's what we're looking for. Kind of showing that we shouldn't be hearing anything tonight. If I go down one to 12 meters, that's more like what's happening with us. 12 meters. There it is. That's exactly what's happening with us, with stations coming in from the Pacific Northwest. So the band is opening. Thank you, Joe. Sounding good. Over.
Well, thank you much here, Dennis. I've now switched over to another radio there, so I appreciate you letting me check in the 223, and when you got a minute there, we'd like to check this one in.
Okay, go ahead. We've got some skip coming in, but tell me what you got, and we'll find the photo for it. Over.
Well, Dennis, this is another fun radio. This one here is like, let me shed the light on it. Doggone it, I'm always in this position. I am on an original stock mic, Dennis. This is the Mustang 2 from Metrotech. Here's another fun radio. I guess a guy might wanted to have something like this in his garage there when he had nothing to do but sit around and maybe listen to the old chatterbox there back in the early days.
Could be the Metrotech Mustang 2. Metrotech made what I'll call some affordable radios. When we're looking at prices at $400 or $500 for trams and Brownings around this time if you wanted to get everything. If you didn't need everything, but it was nice to have the S meter and all 23 channels on the variable receive, which you could do, and then some crystal controlled, this is probably what you would do. From Metrotech, the Mustang 2, 7 tubes, get you where you want to go. Back to you. Over.
Oh, most definitely, Dennis. Like I say, it's probably something you would want to have in the shop there when you had a minute or two to maybe smoke a cigarette or something. It'd take about that much time to warm up the old cotton picker, but it'd be fun to listen to the old chatterbox while the old boys out there in that Super Bowl were doing their natural born thing. Dennis, this is a stock microphone, cream colored, the same as the radio, 7 tubes, well-lit meter, and like you said, a few things on there, like your volume, your squelch, and your tunable receive, and there is one slot for a crystal. I don't know what. No, I don't think I have anything on it. That would have been number 8. But surprisingly, Dennis, when you're on the end of this radio, you would think you were listening to a larger radio if you had your back turned to it. You would think that it would be a great big radio. But when you turn around and look at it, you say, hey, this is a fun radio.
Oh, yeah, they're all fun, right? They're all fun radios. And this is the Mustang 2, 7 tubes. The speaker's right in the front. Don't have much info on Metrotech. And I think back in the day, when you got your first radio, even if it was a Midland walkie-talkie from Whitefront with the Channel 14 crystal. You were having fun trying to get people to even hear what you were saying. So that's all good. Marking you down for radio number 5. Thanks to Robert for the great picture. It took us years to finally get a really decent picture of this radio. And I think I've asked you this before, but I'm curious. There's the red light right in the front above the switch. Is that a modulation light? That's to say when you say hello radio, it blinks at you, or is it just to let you know that the radio is on? Over.
I think that's what it is, Dennis. Of course, the 223, my Johnson doesn't have a light of any kind. I wish it did. It may be an audio or a light similar to this one here. This is like a little indicator light to let you know that you are keyed up.
Good to know. They might have said, for another $1, let's put a light on here. We can be fancy too. Looking good. Thank you, sir. You know what? I was going to check your frequency. So we'll take another quick transmission over.
That's not a problem.
Yeah, when you look at this light here, if you look at it directly, it's like a cigarette burning on the end of when you got the cigarette lit there and you take a
drag of it. That's what it looks like, a burning fire on a cigarette.
You know what that looks like, and you know these, Joe. I know these, Joe, because we're that age. The candy cigarettes. They used to paint the end of it looked like chalk. Used to paint the end of it red, and then the names were sort of similar to the regular cigarettes, like Pell Mell and Terryton or Chesterfield or something like that. But anyway, so it's got that red that was on the candy cigarettes. Over.
Exactly. And about an eighth of an inch sticking out from the radio there. So exactly, that's what it would look like, a candy cigarette light. Okay, Dennis, I've got another one warming up here. Temperature's rising in the room. I can feel it already.
Good. We'll grab it. We're going to go over to the Jingle Singers. The skip sort of died out, but I know it's in there, so we'll sign off here soon. So if anybody wants to go in and do some skip, we'll do that. Who's got the 10-Tech Omni D? The 10-Tech was always a great radio for the CW guys, which I wasn't one, but I remember the saying they liked it for CW. And also transmit audio. Some of them were able to go a little bit higher on the high fidelity mode. And I think some of them didn't even have AM on it. Back the early ones. I think the Omni D might have, but it's like, who needs AM? The Jingle Singers are talking about the friendly place to be, and then we'll be back with another radio.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, the friendliest station for you by far is known to all as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
The station for you, and you, the Old Tube Radio Network listening.
14.
Hey, we'll take 14 as long as Sangertown is still beaconing in and the skip isn't too wacky. I can do that. What have you got? Over.
Okay, this is the first time I've fired this unit up. I got it from Phil a while back, and it is the Metrotech Metro Star radio.
All right, the Metrotech, the Spooky M from Metrotech. I'll see if I've got something in my Rolodex. I do. It is not. Oh, it is. Here's one from the collection of Phil, it says. So let me bring this up. This is different than what I thought it would be. Going over to that one. Yeah, and then going over to that one. Metro Star. You got your S meter. You know what? That S meter reminds me of the S meter in my Regency. Anyway, take a transmission. We'll look more at this. Interesting.
Yeah, it is an interesting radio. Like I said, usually the Metrotech's the king of the cul-de-sac. You can only talk to your neighbor, but this one seems to work quite a bit better than the other ones. It is bigger than the other one. And if you have a picture of one from Phil, this one has a sticker that says Mark II above the meter. So maybe the
rating?
Well, there is something above the meter. Let me go to the CU. Crystal tune, PA signal, tuning squelch, and I can't even read that, and there is a tag. I can't see that. Boy, that has got to be the same meter that's on, or it's the same, writing that's on the Regency meter. I'm scrolling over here. Crystals, 8 channels, and a tunable receive. Over.
Yeah, the receive works really good. I've got it on Crystal right now, and I had it on tunable receive earlier. The only modification I think is it has a Crystal socket, so you can build one of the flexible sockets in there. And I think the microphone is stock. It does not have the stick on it, so I wouldn't have that. But other than that, it seems to work really well. It does not have the modulation light. It just glows, and the receive light orange appears to never go off, so it's on full time.
Well, I would say that your modulation is probably at about 50 to 75%. So just for kicks on the next go-around, because I know you're used to talking to amplified mics, go ahead and get into that mic a little bit, and we'll see what it does. But the audio is not bad. It's certainly not a Buddy bass. Over.
Okay, well that's so if I've got 50 to 75%, then that's about 50% more than all my other Metro Techs. This Harvey just probably did a light going through and looking at it, and I got it from Phil, and it's in beautiful condition. I cleaned it all up with that glass cleaner, and very nice radio. Odd thing is the speaker fires towards the bottom, so Harvey put me some taller rubber snubbers on the front, so it's a little bit louder. It is a little quiet, but plenty loud enough for here at the house with the kid not playing Looney Tunes on the TV.
Indeed, and I'm going to go to the Extreme CU, and somebody mentioned down in the corner, Made in USA, right on the front. I'm going to see if I've got any Metrotech MetroStar. 1962. Boy, okay, I thought it was later than that. Dual conversion super heterodyne. So there's the reason you like the receive. 8 crystal controlled channels and 22 channels variable. Interesting. That's on the receive. And then 8 crystal controlled channels on the transmitter. 5 watts input, 3.5 watts output. It will run 12 volt DC if you've got the cable, 115 volt AC. And, guess what? If you go to oldtuberadio.com, it says there's a Metrotech MetroStar manual PDF on file somewhere. Over.
Well, wonderful. Hopefully I won't have to use that anytime soon. But, everything seems to work well with it. And, really on the cheaper end, it being an earlier version, must have been prior to them starting to cut corners and really take things away from what this is.
Well, unfortunately, I don't have a price point on that, but I bet it was probably in the range of like a general radio telephone or something, where it was under $200. I did the quick frequency check, and we dialed down to 270843. So you're right at that 700 cycle limit that the FCC allows. Over.
Okay. Well, nobody can tell if I drop below it. So, okay, well, it appears to be working good tonight. I know it's getting late, and Joe put another Metrotech on, so we might be the most heard tonight. Thanks for the time for the MetroStar.
MetroStar sounding good from Metrotech. I wonder if Regency had anything to do with that, but 23 channels on the receive, but you've got some crystal control channels as well. So a way to save some money in 1962 as you were licensing your radio and having a good time on this newfangled citizen radio service that was about to take the nation by storm. Thanks. Jingle Singers and Joe, if you're ready, don't go away. We'll be right back to you, but we got to talk about the magic that is radio here.
What are the magic numbers?
27.085 megahertz, channel 11.
Are the magic letters?
OTR.
right here in
Fresno, California.
Radio Magic.
Old Tube Radio.
For you.
Talking of radio magic, Joe, what have you got for us over?
Well, Dennis, we have our Robin, our 123B, good old Bravo. All 23 channels, transmit and receive, and a lot of good little features on there. That was a good-looking Metrotech, by the way. I was really looking it over on the phone here, and nice setup. I really appreciated that one, too. Dennis, the Robin 123B on a amplified D104.
Fans of the Robins are probably wondering, how can it possibly be we're past 10 o'clock and we haven't heard any Robins yet? So you have fixed that item. Thanks, Joe. Robin T123B, there's the front of it. If you like green radios, a Panasonic number 2 chassis with pretty much everything that you could pull out of that chassis, between the external speaker, the modulation light, the PA, fine-tune, RF gain, some good stuff. So looking good over to you for transmission. And where's, I thought I saw Randy. Yeah, Randy's in there. SWL 99. Randy, the skip is coming in from Washington and Oregon, not Arizona tonight. But if you got a chance, just tune in. Go to 27085 and see if we're making it into Arizona, because the band did open up a bit. So, Joe, back to you for a transmission on the Robin T123B. Over.
Well, thank you, Dennis. You did mention quite a few things on the radio that are most true. Other than one little thing there, she is a little bit modified, you could say. She has a few extra channels on it. Maybe somewhere around 8 extra channels on it by just a flip of a switch. The mod light is bright. She works fine. All the other lights for the PA, for your extra speaker, those are all real nice. It has a tunable meter switch in the back, so you can adjust your meter and kind of zero it out a little bit before you get started. And it does have a little tune-in peak set up in the back also, so you could get a little more out of it if you'd like. But this radio runs hot enough just the way it is. I don't think I'd want to juice her up anymore.
No, you don't need... Those radios didn't need any type of transmit boof up. The audio was good. It always had good signal. Now, the modification you do have, which is the crystal stuff or the synthesized stuff, okay, that makes sense. But if you wait till 1976, when the FCC says, you guys are already up here, just crystal control the thing, or, make it channelized, and we'll give you the extra 40 channels, which is what they did. Everybody claims that those run hot. I'm not sure why that is. If where the tubes were placed, if the type of tubes, the transformer, but I don't recall them ever having issues with the heat. Unlike the trams, some of the D201 where it was just messing up the circuit boards and things like that. I don't recall anybody talking about, it got hot and it did something bad to the radio. So however they placed stuff in, whatever was getting hot was okay to do that. Range expand. Oh, the range expand. Let's talk about that. You've got it on or off, over?
I have the range expand on. And it's always on. I never have put it on off. I don't know what it would do to the audio, but I've always had it on.
And if you don't have an amplified microphone, I would say that's probably where you want it. If you've got an amplified microphone, you can turn it on. Sometimes it adds a little bit more bass frequency, but then you've got to turn the microphone down. They're listening to you in Wilmington, Delaware. Hello, was it Ramon listening in? Saying hello to all the shortwave listeners and radio operators. 127 in Wilmington, Delaware, and we're here in Central California. I hear a kitty. We're being invaded by a black cat here in the control room. Over.
10-4. That might be a good sign or a bad sign. I'm not sure. But Ramon out there in Delaware, doggone it, appreciate it. I'm surprised I can be heard out that way. I guess the old radio is leaking out a little audio towards your way. Good deal, Dennis. It is a pretty radio. It's well lit. The dial's real nice too. The channel changer. It's a green with I guess what it is, it's got a green tint. But in the very center, it's yellow. It's yellow. So I think all of the rest of them is yellow, but it has a little tint green setup on it, and it's nice. Very pretty radio. And like I say, it does run a little warm, but maybe that's because the radio's narrow. I've noticed that the top is low, the bottom, the stuff is up a little bit high, so tubes are closer to the top. And it is a narrow radio to begin with, so that's probably why it gets so hot on the top.
You would think. And then, of course, you just came off of, a 7-tube radio, I think? This has 11. Got some transistors in the back for the DC to DC conversion, which it will do. You got the right cord for 12-volt DC. From 1972 to 1976, a lot of places stepping out of the tube radios. E.F. Johnson, General Radio Telephone getting out of the business, and here's why. This chassis, the Panasonic, the radios coming in from Japan and Korea, that are making it a little bit there's a lot of competition when you're trying to build them here in the USA when they come in already like this with plate modulation, and then you can just dial in the front with whatever you want and make about 7 different radios out of that chassis starting in 1972. So you've got to read the handwriting on the wall as to why a lot of the other manufacturers either dropped out completely or started going solid state. 1976, the last of these models, because they went to the 40 channels as per the FCC. The tubes, 12AT7, there's a 12AX7, that's why the good audio, and 6BQ5, I think is your modulator preamp. Documents, operator's manual, and a schematic over at oldtuberadio.com. Just look for the Robin T123 PDF. Back to you for another transmission. Thanks, Joe, for getting some radios on our list tonight. Over.
Well, thank you, Dennis. Thank the listeners there for sure. We're putting up with these old tube radios. I don't think I can live a day without them. I just regret back in the 1970s not ever buying or owning or found or whatever a tube radio. I wasn't very much familiar with tube radio at all. It was always solid state, and now I can't live without them. Thanks, Dennis.
It's like something else, right? You can't live with them, and you can't live without them. Well, we've been doing this for 40 years, and we called it the Old Tube Radio Network back in the late 1980s. And now here it is, 2026, the 21st century, and we're still calling it the Old Tube Radio Network. So I'm thinking maybe we might have to change the name to the really Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks, Joe. And the Jingle Singers have been with us most of this time.
You're tuned to
OTR. Channel 11.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us.
Old Tube Radio.
And be modern.
Oh, I guess that's my cue to speak. Just all of a sudden there's nothing. Any other station before we sign out of here? 21 after, and I don't hear the skip. Did we just have a quick opening at the top of the hour? But you know it's going to be back. Anybody else for a radio before we jump out of here?
How about me? How about me?
Yeah, this is the How About Me frequency. Let me toast. I still have some of my juice from the green room here. Joe, hang on, and we're going to go head over to Harvey, who realized that if he goes to the radio, there still might be an Old Tube Radio Network happening. Over.
Roger. Well, you know what this one is. Browning Golden Beagle, R68T68. The bench is full of, what radio is this?
Demco satellite. So I have one thing to check out on it, and then it's done. And it's from Phil, and it'll be for sale. 5-piece Demco satellite. Transmitter, receiver, modulator, speaker, and meter, SWR meter. All Demco. Anyway, that'll do it for me. Got this one in. And there's my cough.
Hey, Kitty.
Anyway, catch you all next week.
Okay, well, we'll look forward to the other radio going on. Oh, before you go, somebody asked a question. We're talking about voltages inside of the radio chassis. So we know if you got a Palomar 300 and you take off the top, you're going to have some high voltages going on. What about your average, your average CB radio, 5-watt DC input? Are you still, lethal stuff going on there? Over?
Well, that depends on how much you can handle. Plate voltage DC-wise, mid to high 200s. Some of the big bad boys like the trams, and maybe some Brownings, the plate voltage might go a hair over 3, but that's it. The main thing is, just don't stick your fingers where they shouldn't be, or you'll get a buzz.
What was the old thing on Hee-Haw that they used to do? There was Archie Campbell and whoever, and he'd come in and say, Doctor, I broke my arm in 7 different places. And then Archie Campbell would say, well, stay out of them places. So just stay out of them places.
Yeah, well, it's remembering to turn off the radio and to discharge the caps and to unplug the darn thing. Otherwise, you get the AC, so. Okay, well, I'll be out of here. I've got my ever-present cough, so I'm going to have to rest up, and tomorrow is an all-day radio day working on stuff. Okay, take care, and number 20, also 00 for a little bit longer, will be out. Thank you, Dennis.
Sure thing. I think we were halfway through the new list, so shouldn't be an issue. And hopefully your radio bench has got some cool air blowing on it, so it should be an enjoyable place to spend the afternoon. Thanks for the Browning Golden Eagle R68 T68 Brownings offering for the masses from 1967 to 68 before the Mark II. And I wanted to say hello to, I was always interested when somebody new dropped in. The last independent thinker watching the old Tube Radio Network and thinking, what is going on here? And then realizing that you guys have been doing this for 40 years. Come on. Also, Rob, I like that. The ancient Tube Radio Network. And the reason we might call it the ancient Tube Radio Network, for those of us who have actually been involved with it for 40 years, have aged maybe not as gracefully as the radio. So there's ancient Tube Radio operators as well. All right, Joe, I know you've got one more, so let's head over to SWL 60.
Well, thank you, Dennis. This one will do it for me here, the Pretty Blue Radio. My favorite radio, doggone it, the Hustler. And I would, take a minute there, Dennis, and I would like to hear from other Hustler radios, if there's anyone that has one. I'd love to hear it on this end. Dennis, 7 tubes from World Radio Labs, the Hustler.
There it is. So anybody listening, there's 2 things there. There's World Radio Labs, WRL. And so if you've had a WRL radio, you could have been in amateur stuff too, or a Globe. Leo Meyerson, they made a series of Globe radios for CB, and a series of Globe radios for ham. And then there's this, sort of out there in left field, the Hustler from WRL. So if anybody has had one or talked to one, that's what Joe is wondering, because they seem to be pretty rare. They probably didn't make a lot of them. It was Globe and World Radio Lab kind of in between transitioning. It might have actually been a clone of something else, and they put their name on it, or somebody took their radio and put their name on it. But they did a good job of trying to keep it priced right, but give you an S meter and the 23-channel receive and the crystal controlled, and take all the tubes out until there's only 7, and then probably only 6, and then put the 7th one back in because the radio stopped working. But doing a good job. Back to you on the Hustler before you say adios.
Dennis, doggone it, we do have a crystal on this one. I'm not, without looking up the chart, too sure about what's on that crystal. But there are about 7 channels on here that are active. And I would like to hear another radio similar to this. This is a fun-looking radio, too. You could almost, if you had a 6-volt battery, I'm not sure how many volts you'd need to run this thing. But if you had a nice little radio to walk around the park and have people just staring at you and wondering, what are you doing? And what is that? That looks like a little alien radio.
And you bought it from the little alien that was selling it at the swap meet. John saying this first radio was about 10, was a Sharp 23, all those things like Sharp and Sound Design and Lloyd's. The Sharp 23 channel had a trunk mount antenna attached to an L bracket, hooked it to the lawnmower battery. There you go. Any way you can get on the air to get us on. So we all have good memories of these radios, and like Harvey was saying, we didn't kill ourselves putting them together, or we might have blown them up or heard the capacitors pop, but we are here today to talk about it. So thanks, Joe. Thanks for your efforts tonight. You got us on the map.
Well, thank you, Dennis, and thank you, Harvey, for making sure all these were the capacitors were worked on, because I know you did some work to them. Good deal, Dennis. Good show, and we'll be looking forward to next Saturday.
Okay, as am I. I think I'm going to be out of town, but I should be back for that. We're trying to set up to go to the Historical Radio Society Bash that's happening up in the Bay Area, where they have an auction and doing some good stuff. But that's happening. Maybe I can get some pictures to share. We'll see. It may not happen, but that would be fun if it does. And then I'll be back in the air chair just in the nick of time. The fanfare. Fanfare means that it's time.
Ladies and gentlemen, time now for the current OTR totals.
The current final totals. Like we like to say, current and final totals. Good night to everybody. It's 10:30 here on the West Coast, so it's later than you think. And Rob says many of the radios and the operators may not be using the original parts that you would find on the schematics when they were created. So that is true, but we're still functioning. The tube substitution chart and the bone substitution chart, or organ substitution chart, but it still works. What am I doing? Let me get out of here, but I wanted to say this is going to be interesting. We had 2 E.F. Johnsons, 2 Metrotechs. Well, I'll read off the list, and then in theory, if you wanted to include JT on the buddy bass, we had 2 buddies tonight. We heard them both. We didn't hear the transmit side, but we got to hear the receive side. Started off with the buddy bass, TX11B, RC11B, and that was from Phil. Nice audio on that. Kind of an what do they call it? An enigma, an oddity in the radio world. But I just remember hearing like 2 or 3 of them. Whoever at the station that had them just wouldn't sell them and wouldn't let go of them. So it's always nice to find somebody that has one and can share it with us. General Radio Telephone, and I didn't write what it was, but I remember what it was, and that's the MC Super MC12. Last radio from General Radio Telephone, and in theory maybe from Skyhawk Communications, not type accepted, but they are still out there. Let's make it so good that even the FCC can't stand it. Thanks, Sean, for that. Great here on the E.F. Johnson 223, Brian beaconing in, and then beaconing out and beaconing in. Good timing. Sometimes we're talking about that jump rope that happens, and you kind of have to step in when you can and then step out and not trip. And Brian did a good job of that. So the little skip hole that we had, that was a good job. So we'll try it again. Twain Hart as well. Nice to hear from you guys. 709 from Seattle and a host of others. Joe came in and started with his E.F. Johnson Messenger 223. So there's our second E.F. Johnson. The Metrotech Mustang 2. And not to be outdone, the Metrotech Metro Star from Sean and Sanger. Good signals from Sanger tonight. And what a quiet channel. It's always nice when that happens, especially for the net. Then it's fun to have it noisy when you want to do skip. Robin T123, and that is the Bravo, and I will add that. That's from Joe, if you're a Robin fan, or if Chrissy's watching the replay. Fast forward or rewind or whatever, you'll see the green radio. Browning Golden Eagle R68 T68, or I should say the Beagle. So, sorry about that, Harvey. From Harvey, and then Joe on the Hustler World Radio Lab, and I did mention that the Buddy Bass was over on Old Radio Night. Check that out. You want to actually hear the radio sounds like, hear the sound coming in. He should have a replay as well. Should be back here next week in the air chair of the Old Tube Radio Network here at channel 11-27085. Your job is to get on the air whenever you can with whatever radio you've got, and do some local, start a group, do some DXing. If you're working on getting your ham radio license first or doing an upgrade, continue. The bands are still good. Cycle 25 is still, I like that, still up and running. So maybe we'll get to talk to you. A few stations on here tonight that we've chatted with up and down the West Coast and out in Miami. So it's always fun to make contacts that way and have a little bit more playing field than just 40 channels. So see you next time. 72 plus 1 if you'd like to do the math. The Old Tube Radio Network will be back in a week.
Good night. Good night.
Thanks, Dennis.
Oh, where did my tag go? I lost my mic flag. So much for tape, right? Gotta see if I can find one. All right, there it is. Let me go back here. It's like having your pants fall off. There it is. We had a little advertisement for the... I don't want the radio station to know I've got the microphone. So they look at it. Oh, that's the OTR mic. He's not borrowing it. See you later, everybody. And Robin, maybe I hope I can get on the air tomorrow, do something. It's been super busy, but I'll email you if it's like, I'm here in Texas on 12 meters. That's just not the case. I'll do the SDR, and it's never that way. It's always up in Washington or Wisconsin or something. So we'll specifically look for that. See if we can do something. All right, good night, everybody. it's pretty quiet. It is super hot in here, so I'm going to get out of the air chair. And I thought for sure we would have some skip coming in, but I think we just caught that little window. Like 6 meters comes and goes, so we're lucky for that. Have a good evening. Over.